Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, I've had some people reaching out to me on Facebook asking about settings or setting up for soybeans on a Gleaner combine. So this video is going to be geared toward Gleaner combine owners, R series that is. And so if you don't own a Gleaner combine, well, hey, stick around. You might learn something anyway. maybe Tony Reed might learn something else. The loudmouth from Illinois. But anyway, what I always do when I get ready to start, and this here's on our R72. We also have an R52 right here, and both machines are pretty much the same exact thing. So if you have a 52, 62, or 72. This here will cover everything. So I always start up here on the front left corner and work my way around back up to the front right corner. And what I'll do here on the front for the feeder house on this front drum, because you can lower it or raise it, are these blocks right here, that little square block. And right there it should say, it's kind of stamped, it'll say grain front, and for soybeans you want those letters at the top side, and it's pretty self-explanatory how to take and just loosen up that bolt right there, and take that little shock off, and it's going to be turn that, and it'll say corn right there on the back end. And so whether you're doing beans or corn, you just put those letters to the top. Now, these are also, these same blocks are also used on the upper feeder house chain as well. And on that one, I actually keep it in the grain position all the time. Now, for those actually have a, I think they say either grain front, either grain rear or grain back, which is going to be your upper feeder house. And so in that case, you would put that lettering at the top of the block. But like I say, I'll actually leave those in grain all the time. So let's jump on back here. Okay, after adjusting those feeder house blocks, you're going to come back here, and you can see that ring right around here. It's got these bolts and them slider tracks in it. You're going to loosen them up and slide that ring to where it's over top that bolt head right there, and that locks it down for running the bean head. That way the thing cannot want to speed up on you compared to having the corn head on. And so just loosen up those 3 bolts, and that ring will give a little bit of a turn to lock that sheave down. So now we'll move around here to the chopper. Okay, then here on the left side, sitting here inside the shed, it'll make it easier if you can put the auger out and raise this secondary panel here up to put your chopper belt up on high speed. But I can still show you here. You can see how you got this small pulley, or it's a 2-piece pulley with small and big on it. And so for corn, you would run in that, but over here in beans and wheat, you're going to run up here on this big pulley. To take and put your knives up into the chopper, you're going to take and loosen up these 2 little 3/8 carriage bolts, and just take and shove that up in. It's already in, because last thing I did was rye with this thing. But you would shove those in for beans or wheat, and or just loosen up them bolts and put a pry bar right there and pry that back out for corn. And so that's how you do it for corn. We'll move on around. Also, back here on the straw splitter, I had a guy ask me, today's actually August 21st, and a guy just messaged me on Facebook last night asking about this. And you can see my straw splitter is not your typical straw splitter. Your factory straw splitter, in fact, surprisingly, even on the newer ones, the S series that I've seen of Gleaners, your straw spreader pan comes out to that hole right there. And so your paddle sticks on out beyond that. Well, I got noticing here several years ago what was happening as stuff comes down the chopper chute right here and here. You got stuff also dropping down between the paddles, even though they're spinning around. You get that much debris falling down, stuff can still drop between them. And so what I did is I had a friend of mine who does welding and that kind of stuff, so any machine shop could do this. I simply gave him the dimensions that I needed, and I had him make me this big sputter pan. And I simply just took the paddles and all this hardware all off the old one, and he simply just cut out a big pan for me. Then I just set everything back on top, marked all the holes, drilled the holes. There's the bottom side of it. Got your holes in the center and out here at the end. And on these paddles, there's already holes out here in the paddle itself. And there goes my phone off. That gets annoying. But anyway, and so now with this big spreader pan, it's actually able to catch everything and throw it, and that really helped. And I think only like $100 is what he charged me to make that. And I've seen on some of the Gleaner groups I'm on, people talking about, I think they call it the super spreader, and I think they charge like anywhere from $800 to $1,500 for that thing. And so, like I say, this might not throw quite as far, but hey, with that bigger spreader pan, it's a whole lot simpler and a whole lot cheaper. And so, like I say, that big 3-foot pan worked for me. So that's something else you can think about doing if you want to improve your spreading pattern. So we'll move around here to the right side. Okay, here on the right hand side. For soybeans, of course, you're going to have this here shifted into high range. And for soybeans on my rotor speed, I run right around 650, which works out pretty good. And so, of course, here on your gear shift, you're going to take and push that in. I don't know how well you can read that, but if you pull out is low, if you push in is high range. And so that works on that. Oh, one more thing on the straw spreader, you got to jump up here behind the motor to change the belt setting on the pulleys. Unless you have the newer version, which is on the R75, and that spreader's actually got a hydraulic motor on it, which would make it a little more handy. But yeah, so like I say, just shift that, kick your gear shift in right there for high, kick it back out for low, and that works good to get your rotor speed between high and low. Okay, now we'll go up here around onto the front right side. All right, up here on the front right side of the throat, I actually usually I just leave this panel here on, but you can take and for running in soybeans and wheat, small grains, you're going to take and make sure this belt is on the big pulley down here. You can see that's a two-step pulley. So you're going to have on the big side down here and on the small side up here on the back. And you just simply loosen up this spring tensioner right here. You got that idler right down below to loosen up the belt. And or for corn, you'll take and you'll put this in the lower pulley and the upper one up here for corn. And so that's how you change that. And so besides that, that's pretty much the basics of getting set up for corn and or also soybeans. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty simple. So hey, I hope this helps some of you all out. So if you have any questions, feel free to jump down into the comments, and I will be taking and posting links to this video on the Gleaner combine groups that I am on, and that way people can go right straight to the video and watch it. So hope it helps you all out. So hey, take care, thanks a lot for watching, we'll see you next time.